Hello everyone, welcome to the three-part series of device drivers tutorials. In this part, we will study about working with SPI. SPI is a serial communication protocol. To implement SPI protocol, we will use two devices, the master and slave. The master is PIC32 microcontroller and the slave is MCP23S17 IO expander. What we need to do is we need to communicate between master and slave. In slave, we have got two registers, register A and register B. We need to output the data. Register A and register B can hold 8 bits of data. We need to output binary numbers ranging from 0 to 256. When the number is 0, all the LEDs are 0 or all the LEDs are off. When the number is 1, the first LED will glow. On second number, second LED will glow. On third number, first and second LED will glow. What I said was the binary equivalent of 0, 1, 2. This follows from 0 to 256. At number 256, all LEDs will be glowing. So this is our task. There are some prerequisites. You need to download the datasheets of MCP23S17. MCP23X17 has two devices, one which supports I2C protocol and one more which support SPI protocol. You need to get the SPI version. The SPI version will be MCP23S17. We are using PIC32 microcontroller. You need to download the IO expander document that we will be using for PIC32. You must read the reference manual of PIC32 on SPI to get better understanding of the workflow. What is SPI? SPI stands for Serial Peripheral Interface. SPI communication protocol is used to communicate between devices serially. SPI is a synchronous full duplex master-slave based interface. Synchronous means both the master and slave must share same clock frequency. Imagine a situation where two persons are speaking, person A and person B. Person A speaks too fast and person B speaks too slow. Could person A and person B be able to communicate effectively? The chances are very less. If person A is talking at the same pace as person B, there is some possibility that these two people are communicating effectively. Similar principle follows in case of communication between two devices, device 1 and device 2. If these two devices be able to communicate effectively, they must share a common clock frequency. In synchronous communication, full duplex means we got one master and we got one slave. Master can send data to slave and slave can send data to master simultaneously. Two-way communication can happen at the same time. Here we have a SPI enabled master and we have SPI enabled slave. We can notice there are four major pins. First one is chip select. If there are multiple devices, we can have multiple chip select such that we can communicate multiple slaves. Since we are dealing with only one slave and one master, one chip select is enough. Here we have a clock line. MOSI. MOSI stands for master out slave in. Master sends data to slave and slave receives. MISO. Master in, slave out. Slave will send data, master will receive. Master in. In this project, we are using PIC32 as a master and MCP23S17 as a slave device. This is our controller and this is the IO expansion board that we are using for the controller. This is our IO expander MCP23S17 which supports SPI protocol. Now let us move on to the implementation part. I hope you have read the datasheet and reference manual, specifically the SPI section. Once the module is been set up as master mode, and the SPI module is enabled, data to be transmitted is written in SPI above register. When you're sending data or receiving data, data will be stored in this register. Register stores the data. And MCP implementation of SPI slave. Remember, master decides whether to perform read or write operation. The entire responsibility is held on master. Master has got complete authority. When you read the datasheet of MCP23S17, when you notice the SPI addressing registers, you can see on chip select, making it low, data transmission starts. Here we have a opcode of length 8 bits. The first 4 bit and the last 4 bit of this register is used to identify the slave device. Say for instance we have got multiple slave devices, that is multiple MCP23S17, 1, 2, 3 devices. How the master will know to which device to communicate, whether to communicate with device 1, device 2 or device 3. There exists a confusion. So we will use the address pins A0, A1, A2. Say for instance, if A0, A1, A2 is 0, say we will connect to device 1. If A2, A1 is equal to 0 and A0 is equal to 1, then we will communicate with second device. If A0, A1 is equal to 1, then we will connect to the third device. In all the cases, the first 4 bits are common, that is 0, 1, 0, 0. The only thing we need to change is next 3 bits. Then last bit of this register we have read or write. To write, we will mention 0. This is the write command. This nibble is 4 and we made A0, A1, A2 as 0. If the last bit is 0, then the master is performing write operation. If the last bit is 1, then the master is performing read operation. Now let us look at the pin connections. Here J10 and J11 are the pins present in the IO expander that we have connected to the PIC32 master. Here we can see this is J11 and this is J10. In J10 we will connect clock at 41 and data out, that is MISO pin to 40 at 43 and data in MOSI at pin 44. We are not using the dedicated pin that is given for the SPI. Instead we will use RD13, that is at 9th pin of J11. This is used for slave select, and RD12 at 10th position of J11 is used for reset pin. Reset pin is present in the MCP23S17. Now we will connect the appropriate pins with respect to PIC32 expander that we saw in the earlier slide, and we will connect reset pin to RD12. Our task is to glow the LEDs at this register in these 8 bits. Now let us hop on to the development part. Initially chip select is set to high. Here we can see chip select is set to high. On triggering chip select to low, data transmission starts. Data transmission starts till the chip select becomes high. Now let us configure the device. In this configuration code, we mainly concentrated on configuring the clock frequency for the peripheral device we are using. Then we will define 2 macros. One is for write and one is for read, which we saw this in the earlier slides. 40 is for write operation, 41 is for read operation, where A0, A1, A2 are set to 0. As I mentioned earlier, GPIO pin is used for chip select. We are not using the dedicated SPI chip select provided by the microchip. Instead, we are using some other GPIO pin for chip select. In order to configure that, we need to set the control bit of SPI1. Since I am using SPI1 part of the controller, I am using SPI1 con bits dot slave select enable. We made it as 0. Here we can see we defined two macros. The first one is for the chip select and second one is for the reset. Lat is used to toggle between on and off in the program. Then we will define some macros for the slave device. These values could be seen in the device overview of the datasheet of MCP23S17. We defined all values given in the datasheet. We won't be using all the macros here. Now let us initialize the master device. For SPI communication, read the datasheet for master device configuration. Master mode operation. Perform the following steps to set up the SPI module for the master mode operation. First, disable the SPI interrupts in the respect IEC01 register. So in the main function we will call two functions, one to initialize the master and one to initialize the slave device. Now let us see the implementation of the master. Make chip select high to low by toggling the lat bit. Disable the SPI interrupts. We disabled the SPI interrupts here. Stop and reset the SPI module by clearing the on bit. Here I stopped the SPI module. Later we will on this clear the receive buffer. I cleared the SPI buffer. If interrupts are not going to be used, skip this step. We are skipping this step since we are not using interrupts in our application. Write the baud rate register. We have set the baud rate to 2.5 MHz. Clear the SPI overflow flag. I cleared the SPI overflow flag bit. Write the desired settings of the SPI controlled register with MSTEN bit enabled. You can see this in the SPI controlled registers. Do refer the datasheet of the PIC32. In controlled register section, you will find this bit. I wrote my desired setting and more importantly, I enabled the master mode. Enable the SPI operation by setting on bit. Finally, enable the SPI module by setting the on bit is equal to 1. Now make the chip select low to high. We are done with the master configuration. Now let us configure the slave device. Master has the authority to perform read and write operation, right? So in order to configure the slave device, first we need to write some settings to the slave device. So we will write some settings to the slave device. We will perform write operation to the slave device to configure. So we will see how to write data to the slave device. We will define a function named writeMCP with two arguments, MCP address and MCP data. We start the data transmission by lowering the chip select from high to low. First we will select the device. We know that the device address is 0x40 hexadecimal. We saw this earlier. Since we are performing the write operation with A0, A1, A2 as 0, we get the device address as 0x40 in hexadecimal. We will wait till the data transmission is complete. Once the device is selected, we will write to which address in the slave device we need to write the data. First we will send the address. We will wait till the data is transmitted. Then we will send the data to be written on this address to the slave device. We will wait till the data transmission is complete. Finally, we will toggle the chip select from low to high. In the slave device configuration, we are sending the IOCON register. This is present in the slave device and we are passing value 28. Let us see what this means for IOCON register. This is the datasheet for MCP23S17 and here we can see the IOCON register. We sent data 28 in hexadecimal. So it is 0010 for 2, 1000 for 8. So first 8, 0th bit, first bit, second bit, third bit we are setting as 1. Hardware enable bit enables the MCP23S17 address lines, address pins. As we already saw, we have 3 pins, A0, A1, A2. If we enable this bit, these pins are made available to our application. 1 0th bit, first bit, second bit, third bit, fourth bit, fifth bit. We are setting the fifth bit. We are enabling the sequential mode operation. For more information, refer the datasheet of MCP23S17 for sequential mode of operation. Then we are setting GPIO A as output pins. We are setting register A as output pins. Then we are setting register B as input pins. Load 0 on GPIO A. Then enable all pull-up register on port B. In our application, since we are concentrating on only write operation, that is, our task is to GLOW numbers from 0 to 256. We don't have to read in this application, so we are not concentrating on the read operation in this case. When we compile and flash the program into our microcontroller, we can see this. LEDs are glowing from 0 to 256 in binary. This video is presented by Avari Technologies. Please do hit subscribe button to get more content. Thank you.